And please welcome to the stage a 2018 SCASA Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Dr. WalterTobin.
You know how old those pictures were, how granular they were? They weren't digital, I guarantee you that. I'm humbled by this, and I want to thank some folks for allowing me to be acknowledged at this time. I want to thank Molly for nominating me for this award, for Beth for accepting their nomination, and her staff for working to make this happen. I want to thank the children of Voorhees High School who allowed me to practice on them because I didn't know anything to teach them. I became the student when I taught them. They were willing to learn, and I didn't have much to teach them. I became the student for those children. I want to thank the folks that I have worked with over the years. And every school district that I worked with, will you stand at this time for me? If I worked in your school district, please stand. Newberry, Lee, Allendale, I can't name them all. Jim Suba, thank you. Orangeburg, 4 and 5, anyway. I want to thank the lady who's the most important person in my life. I'm going to ask Bernice to stand. Bernice, stand up, please. We've been married last December for 50 years. Bernice has been married for 50 years. I married the first day I saw her. I saw her walk across the campus at Benedict College, and I said to my buddy Joe Wilson, I said, "Who is that?" She said, "That's Bernice." I said, "I'm going to marry that girl." It was a marathon. And I slowed down, and she caught me. I thank her for raising our children. They both have done well. They're good people. I got the sweetest note from our daughter on Sunday that I'm going to frame, the kind of introspective and retrospective for things that she shared with me on that occasion. And Bernie says she's still working on me. Some days when I'm home, she says, "I'm glad to have you home. I'm glad you're here." And some days I'm the third grader who didn't get promoted. I want to thank my parents and the teachers who worked with me over the years. And I say to myself, Marie talked about her faith. I'm like David. I'm no David, but you know David, God loved David. And David did some awful things. And I've done a few things I ain't happy about either. So he has blessed me, and I am indeed grateful for that. I want to just regress just a little bit. Most of you don't know much about Allendale other than there have been 2 takeovers. Molly took over the school district last summer and asked me to go down to work with the young people and the teachers and administrators in Allendale. And it's probably the right thing to do. And one of the things I do is that I don't say things to folks away from them that I can't say to them. And Allendale has averaged about superintendents every 2 years for the last 20 years or more. And I actually listed them in a PowerPoint and showed the community and the board how many superintendents they have had over the years. So what Marla's trying to do is bring some calm and order to Allendale. Some good people there. I work with some very good people. But let me deviate just a minute and tell you a little bit about Allendale. As you saw earlier, every child from preschool, a 3-year-old program to 12th grade has an iPad in Allendale. There are 10 teachers that live in the county. Everybody else drives in. If it were not for my international teachers, my East Indian teachers and our Jamaican teachers, I don't know how we'd offer education to the children of Allendale. What I would want to tell you is that a young man came to Allendale in the early 70s and started a debate program. And somewhere between kids who are late 30s, early 40s, late 40s, who debated at Southern California, USC, University of Southern California, at Harvard and at Yale, and distinguished themselves. And when I talk to folks in Allendale, tell me my daughter went to Duke, to Harvard, to Yale, to Princeton, to Vanderbilt, that they work in corporate America, that they travel to India and to Europe. And I asked the gentleman who was responsible for that to come by and see me. He said, no, I'll come to see you. And I said, where are your children? Where are those young people? They're corporate lawyers in Savannah, assistant district attorney in New York. They're all over the East Coast. They're large firms in Raleigh, a child who went to Duke. And I asked him, he said, I'll come by to see you. And he told me, I said, you follow your kids, you know where they are? He said, oh yeah, such and such a person there. And he leaned back in his seat and said, the little Gardner girls in Paris. So there's a possibility. If you create the right kind of environment for children, things can happen for them. The other thing I want to tell you, that probably no small community in South Carolina that participated in the civil rights movement. Now, if you're in Orangeburg and Sumter or Rock Hill or Columbia, your anonymity of being in that kind of environment, that people didn't know where you were from when you were marching in the civil rights movement in the 1960s. But in Allendale, the Freedom Riders came to Allendale.